Hello, everyone. A warm welcome to our Eileen Fisher Women Together Connect. My name is Antoinette, and I'm happy to be with all of us again today on a Tuesday, noon Eastern. It's wonderful to have this time in this digital space to connect with each other. I see so many familiar faces. I like going on gallery view and just connecting with everyone. And just knowing that we're all here together. And I love seeing also how many of us have developed friendships and are seeing people we recognize and know. And I also welcome any of us who may be new. I see some new faces, so warm welcome if you're new or if you haven't been with us for a while. A warm welcome to all. We are coming in from all different parts of the world. Many of us have already started typing in the chat a little hello and sharing where you're from. So I'll read a few of those out. I see that we've got Winchester, Massachusetts, Woodcliff Lake, New Jersey, New York City, Switzerland, Toronto. Wonderful. And I love the love notes to Brahmani. I feel similarly and so glad that Brahmani could be back with us. I see Felton, California, Tampa Bay, Florida, Walnut Creek, California, Vermont, Yardley, Pennsylvania, suburban Philadelphia, Westchester County, New York, Massachusetts, Chicago, and Mozambique. Okay, so we are coming in from all over, and many of us in the northern part of this continent, but many of us coming from all over. Wonderful. And really it is so good to just land and be here together. So we like to do tiny practices. I know that Brahmani will take us into a much deeper practice, but just to land here today, we'll just do a little moment of stillness. And so I invite you, wherever you may be, to just land in your seat, and you can feel perhaps your feet on the ground. And a tiny practice is really just something you can do in any part of your day. For this one, it's just about connecting to the breath and just giving yourself a moment of stillness. Often it takes us effort to get to whatever it is we're doing. And this is just releasing the effort for a moment, just holding a little spaciousness or awareness of what's going on inside. So feeling the feet on the ground, perhaps closing your eyes or lowering your gaze, whichever is in your practice. Just feeling the breath moving in and out of the body, perhaps in the nostrils and out. Just letting go of anything that it may have taken to get to this seat. Just allowing ourselves to be fully here. Feeling both the connection to the earth beneath us and the sky above us. Feeling the breath connecting both those things, earth and sky. Then wherever you may be, just bringing yourself back to what brought you here today. Perhaps setting an intention for this time together, this time to just reconnect with ourselves and with each other. What brought me here today? And when you're ready to reconnect with the screen, you can turn your attention back to the computer and to the chat perhaps and share maybe a word or phrase of what brought you here today. And I will read a few out. I'll give you a moment to type in and then I'll read a few out. So I see community, curiosity, interconnectedness, learning new ways to peace, community and peace in these times, the need to connect, respite and community, connect with other women, nourishment, especially from the world craziness, peace and acceptance as always, togetherness and inspiration. The harvest is complete, the garden is asleep. I am ready to wake up. Connection, courage, and peace building. Wonderful. So I couldn't think of a better person to be hosting and leading and to be back with us. And Brahmani, it really is such a joy to host this with you and to have you with us. And I find that I miss our in-person time, but I have absolutely loved getting to be with you digitally, at least. And I know we're hosting some retreats, so highly, recommend the in-person time with you, but I have been glad to have this. And just a reminder for those of you who may not be as familiar with Brahmani, she has been studying yoga and meditation since the 70s. She's been a yoga teacher for many, many years. She has been a teacher trainer. She founded the River Center for Yoga and Health in Dobbs Ferry. And she has been developing teacher trainings and retreats and really just bringing more peace and kind of embodiment, really being in our bodies and being ourselves, and really not just kind of a peace that's out here. I find that people intellectualize peace. It's something that's out there, and something that's going to be, and over there one day somehow, we don't really know. And what I have found with you, Brahmani, is the inner peace and the space that you give me and each of us to just return to our own bodies, return to ourselves, to reconnect to who we really are. And just having you here feels so good. So thank you for being here, and I turn it over to you.
Thank you, Antoinette. That it's very sweet, everything you said, and and thank you all for showing up. I want to acknowledge I'm seeing some new friends and people I've been with here before, but also some folks in my life that have been part of the Rivertown Center. I see you, and I see people who've been at my Kopalu trainings, and people from the West Coast and the East Coast and other retreats I've led. So it's very lovely that we get to do this from all parts of the world. So yeah, thank you. I keep reading that. Thank you, and little love notes to me. And then your intentions, peace and acceptance as always. And as you said, Antoinette, thank you that what I offer you gives you an experience of the peace that you are. And I think I've been thinking about it, and I come up with what's going on in me, what's going on in the world. How can I help? What can I do? And then you invited me to come forth, and I looked at, and I'm like, well, I don't even know what I can say during these times. How can I help? And I'm imagining many of you feel the same way. The world is, someone said, in the craziness of the world, it's hard to believe what's going on. It's horrifying. I have anxiety when I feel into it, but I don't want to also turn away from it because it's what's happening. And we can send money, we can send food, we can do all those things to help. But here I am in my life. What can I do to help? And how can I help both my inner life and my outer life? I think that's really where we all sit, because I have to be, and in order for me to be in the outer life, I have to fill my well, so to speak. And many of you have heard me say this, and I believe it to be true. And all of the great wisdom traditions keep bringing us back to a place of what is our true nature, and our true nature is already peace, already love. We already are that. And so, why do we love all these practices? Because they help us to have an experience of who we are, right? It's like, oh, and it's not that you just have the experience either on your chair and you're meditating or on your yoga mat, but it reminds us so that as we step in the world, we keep remembering that's who I am. And sometimes I'm sure you all have some ways to reset and remember. And I'm sitting here right now, and as I look out, I'm right now on the West Coast, so fall isn't quite as dramatic as it is there, at least where I am. But it's here, and I see red in the trees and orange and yellow. And, just seeing the beauty of nature, I take a breath, and that makes a difference for me. Or walking in nature. And I think about how can I help? Well, in my life these days, it's a lot of what can I do with my family, I have some grandchildren that live nearby, and I get a phone call. Can you drive us here? Can you take us here? Can you walk the grand dog? And that's my service right now, a lot of the time. And you know what? It feels really good. Like I'm helping my family. What can I do? My sister is going through some health issues, so I went and visited her for a week. And like, I can do that. Like, how can we all be there to hold each other's hearts, really? And so I just ask you to reflect on your own life and think, where is it that you can help or that you are helping, and to acknowledge that. We can't all help in the big ways, and in the situation that's going on, we don't want to be adverse. We want to have a voice. We all have feelings. So how can we be with my feelings, and how can I hold a space for everyone, right? What's going on. And so I thought today I wanted to share with you practices and some teachings that when I do them, they help calm my heart, they calm my mind, they help me feel connected to who I truly am. And I have a number of things that I like to do. And so I thought we can do those together. And after each one, you can just check in with yourself and say, what does that feel like for me? Is this something I want to continue in my life? Is this something that might support me? So I want to see if there's something else I wanted to say to you. Yeah. And I think it's also, Antoinette asked you to check in, and, she spoke about tiny moments. And I think tiny moments are really the most important, because tiny moments many times means we're present all day long. Present when I'm walking and feeling my feet on the earth. Tiny moments. There's one teacher likes to say, connect to the breath, and resting in the awareness of breath allows every moment to live in the transforms your life into a living meditation. Oof. Well, what if we're walking and resting awareness with breath? It transforms that moment into a living meditation. As I'm just sitting back, or as I'm eating my meal and I'm feeling my breath, transforming that moment and tasting the food into a living meditation. It's our presence. So that's what I offer us today, right? So wherever you are, as I said, we're going to do a number of things that each will take a few minutes, and then you'll see if that resonates for you. And one of the first things I do is to what I call take inventory, which means, meet yourself where you are. And so if you would, whether you're sitting in a chair, some of you may be resting back on a couch, take a big breath in, hold it at the top for a moment, and then just let go. And do that again. This time, bring your shoulders up to your ears. Just squeeze it for a moment. Hold, hold, hold. And then exhale, let it go. And as you sit here now, feel your feet. If they're on the floor, let them rest on the floor. Feel where your body is touching whatever you're sitting on. And then just take a few moments to scan around in your body and feel where your physical body is today. And so when I say take inventory, I find that there's an interesting inquiry to see, where am I today in this moment? I apologize if you hear outside noises. Life happens wherever we are. And as you notice, there might be places that feel tense, places that feel open. Oh, isn't that interesting? It's garbage day in our town, so life happens, right? So you hear the sounds of life. And then take a moment and notice the quality of your breath. Sometimes it feels long, sometimes it feels short. Not right or wrong. You're not doing the breath. Just feel the breath breathing. You notice where you feel it, where you don't. If it's long or short. And then just notice the quality as you're resting there with the breath for a few moments. You might notice right away there's a thought that arises or a feeling that arises. The mental and emotional body is very interconnected. So take a moment to acknowledge just what you're seeing, what you're feeling. And know that all of these are conditioned states. They change. And then notice the place of you that is just the energy, right? You might feel some tingling or vibration in your body. And then become aware of the part of you that is aware, just aware of all these things that come and go. This is always here, that place of awareness, loving awareness. And so I like to take a few moments. I gave you some time to take inventory, and maybe we just do that when we wake up or before we get out of bed. Oh, what's here this morning? And then recognize the place that is aware of it all. Awareness is aware. And then just take a pause and notice your experience of yourself. In the place of awareness, all things come and go. And one of the things I like to do, it's quite traditional in Buddhist practices to take refuge. And what is it that we are taking refuge in? Like, during these challenging times, we all want a place of refuge, a safe harbor. And so the more we repeat these few phrases, we are strengthening that. We're reminding ourselves. So if it works for you, just repeat the words to yourself. Let's listen to them. So I begin by saying, from now, or I vow, from now until I fully awaken, I vow to take refuge in loving awareness, my true home. So loving awareness, that place that we touched, some would say it's our Buddha nature, our true nature, already awake, already whole, already infinite. See if you just, I might vow to take refuge in loving awareness, my true home. Just give yourself a moment to touch into that place. But because we are human, we stumble, we fall, we kind of feel like we've lost connection with that loving awareness, true nature. We have practices and teachings. So I vow to take refuge in the path of loving awareness, the road that leads me home, the path. And that's what we're doing here. All of the practices, all of the teachings that help us to, once again, come in touch, home, right here in our own true heart, this sacred heart, already awake. So I vow to take refuge in loving awareness. I vow to take refuge in the path of loving awareness. And I vow, because we are communal, that's what we're doing here today, community. So I vow to take refuge in the Sangha, the community, those who aspire to live awake and free, my teachers, my friends, my spiritual family. I believe we lift each other up, we hold each other up. So we take refuge here. So sit for a few moments as you've taken the vow to take refuge. And I remind myself, I recognize that this is possible regardless of conditions. And I think that's an important thing to remind ourselves. The conditions of life, what's happening outside and inside. But this is possible. Just sit for a moment with that. And notice the effects of taking refuge in that which is already awake and whole, infinite. And I thought I'd share with you one of the things I love to do. I love to chant a little bit, and you might like this or not, but it's all an experiment, right? We just try something and it's an experiment. And this is a chant to, they say Ganesha. I wish I had a little Ganesha here. You may have seen him. He's half elephant, half man. And it's said that this energy of Ganesha is the one who removes obstacles. And so I just chant it a few times, or I say it in my own mind. I say Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. I put it in the chat. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. And I'll chant it once. And if you'd like, you can then chant it with me 3 times. Okay. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Together. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Once more. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Together. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And while the outer chant falls away, pay attention to the inner resonance. And so it's another place to rest the mind. To awaken to who we are. And once again, you feel the breath coming in and out. And the great Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh offers us these beautiful, simple meditations to connect. And so I share with you these phrases. Breathing in, peace for myself. Breathing out, peace for the world. And as you breathe in, breathing in, peace for myself, breathe into your own heart. And then as you exhale, feel that energy, that love, that light, breathing out, peace for the world. We can do this. Breathing in, peace for myself. Breathing out, peace for the world. So it's not just the phrases, but the feeling tone. So let's sit with that for a few minutes together. Breathing in, peace for myself. Breathing out, peace for the world. You might find that you're just in, out, peace, peace. You can't do this wrong. Breathing in, peace for myself. Breathing out, peace for the world. Let your mind and awareness just rest with the phrases of peace and love. Or breathing in, love for myself. Breathing out, love for the world. I'll stop talking for a few minutes. And when your mind wanders, it's not a problem. It's just an ability to see where that mind is. With so much love, acceptance of where this mind is, call it back just so gently, sweetheart. Right now, let's rest with these phrases. Take another few moments in this way. Please take another few breaths. Bring yourself back to sitting. Feel yourself sitting in your chair and feel, again, take inventory. Sorry. Feel where you are in this body, in this mind and heart. And acknowledge it to yourself. Let's just give thanks for a few moments. Connecting home, remembering who we are, even amidst the turmoil that might also be here. So it doesn't mean that practices get you somewhere. Just let you keep having a little moment, maybe like the eye of the hurricane, but that's also there. And as you're ready, you can just let your eyes open. Thank you very much. But we're not quite done. You know, I'm going to go back on gallery to see you all for a moment. Yeah. So I wouldn't mind seeing in the chat a word or two of what your experience is right now. Relaxed, open, a layer of calm. Lovely. Calm, gratitude. Yeah, more peaceful and calm. Thank you, Terry. Yeah. Calm or a little emotional. It happens, right? Yes, emotions. Sometimes when we stop, enough emotions come to the surface. Yeah. Great. Peaceful, calm. Lovely. Remembering who we are. It's really what it is amidst it all. And, you know, sometimes, thank you so much, because I know it's true for me. I do a practice and it's like, oh, right, it does. You know, these things work. I think that's why I've stayed with them all these many, many, many years, right? And there's a beautiful teaching from the Buddha. It's called the Buddha's teaching on impartial kindness, and it's often referred to as it's the Metta Sutta. Many of you know Metta is the practice of loving kindness, right? So I thought I'd read it to you, and we'll put it up on the screen, because sometimes it's out of like, well, what do I do? What am I supposed to do? What are their instructions for living a life? There actually are instructions. There are actually instructions. And this is one of the instructions, how to live a life. I see someone, I desire to wake, take inventory, take some breath. So beautiful. I put in the chat, by the way, everybody, the wording for the chant, and I put in the refuges. I typed that in for you. So at some point you might want to copy and if you need those, right? And if Ella, if you could share your screen, we're going to put that up on the screen for you. And then after we read this, I thought, you know, Antoinette will put you into, Ella will put you into groups, and you can talk about this. Like, what is it you want to take into your life? What are you aware of? What works for you? Okay, or just check in. So here we go. We're getting it up on the screen. There we go. And there's a little bit of editing that happened by my dear friend and teacher, Sylvia Borstein. So I share that version with you. Okay. This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and knows the path of peace. Right away, we wonder, are we that one? But yes, we do know that. Let them be straightforward and gentle, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud or demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove. Wishing in gladness and in safety, may all beings be at ease. Whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none. The seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state, and let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another. Even as a parent protects with their life their child, their only child, so just so with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, freed from hatred and ill will, whether standing or walking, seated or lying down. Free from drowsiness, one should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding, by not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one having clarity of vision, free from addiction to sense desires, is not born again into this world. So there's a lot there. Maybe a line calls out to you. Maybe you think, oh God, I'm already don't know this. I'm one who already knows the path to peace. I'm already not doing this, or I already feel burdened. But it's not that we don't have our duties. We do. And it's not that we're, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful. So it just gives us something to reflect upon. I remember the first time I read this, the one that called out to me was, by not holding to fixed views. I was like, oh, that's the one I got to work with. Not holding to fixed views. All my opinions, I see it this way, not that way. And so I look at it that's often and think, okay, what's the one that's calling to me now? And maybe you have that there. Maybe you can always look at this online, the Metta Sutta. So I offer you that. Let me see some new messages. I wonder if anyone, great. Can you keep it on the screen for a moment? They're asking. That would be great. Oh, nice to see you. So yes, wonderful. So we'll post it's conversations for you to revisit, she says. So conversations, women together. So there you go. You'll have that. All right. So are we going to go into breakout rooms for a little bit, Antoinette?
Yeah, we can do a short breakout today, 10 minutes. So just saying
That's
a little
great.
And sharing your name, where you're coming from, and what came up for you from this super share. So thank you for that, and enjoy the time together. We'll be back with Brahmani in about 10 minutes.
Perfect.